Oh, we are back with Greg Taylor, Ohio's retirement coach, along with Kristen Taylor, Vice President of Legacy Retirement Group. And this time around, we're going to talk about something that's so vital to so many people in retirement, and that is their pension. And I think when it comes to pension, many people don't realize there are a lot of decisions that you can make in regards to that, can't you?
There are.
There really are a lot of pension options. So should I take a single life pension? Should I, if I'm married, should I make it a joint and survivor? And then with joint and survivor, you have options. I can leave my spouse 25% or 50% or 75% or the same amount. There's what's called a period certain, which means, say if you do a 10-year period certain option, it'll give you that pension for your life. But if you pass away within the first 10 years, your beneficiary would get that until the end of that period certain, then it would stop. So, and then sometimes companies even offer a lump sum option.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different options based on your circumstance.
I was going to say, is that some of the biggest decisions? Is that kind of the, lump sum versus taking the monthly payments? That's the one I feel like we always hear about.
That's one of the big ones, but we just dealt with a dear lady that came in about 2 weeks ago now, who was married. Her husband was the primary breadwinner that had the pension option, and he was faced with the decision of either taking a single life or a joint life. Those are two of the big options for him, and they got really bad advice. They were told to take the single payout and take out life insurance. On the surface, that doesn't seem too bad, but the problem was they picked the pension option first, then went to apply for life insurance, couldn't get it, found out he had cancer, and he died 8 months later. So then here this poor widow's left with no pension, and then a pile of money that they had saved that unfortunately got lost in the market downturn. So she was really in a bad situation.
Right.
And
Probably the saddest appointment I ever sat in on.
Yeah, and I could imagine
the tissues were being passed all around because here we are. She got advice just not looking at their overall situation. And so that's what we like to do, make sure we look at all the ins and outs of the decision that's going to be made.
Right, and the other thing is you don't chase after one thing until you know you have the other one in the hand.
Right.
So you don't go ahead and take a single life pension unless you've already purchased a life insurance, you know you're approved. Those kinds of things can really just submarine a retirement plan.
Yeah, the order of it, for sure.
So what are some of the mistakes, because I'm sure you see some common ones when it comes to your clients. So what are the mistakes that we should all avoid?
Well, that's one of them certainly is not being prepared to make to make sure you're going to have income forever. But the other part is a lot of people are faced with do I take a lump sum buyout?
Yeah, like she mentioned there. Yeah.
Or do I take the lifetime pension? Now, in our practice, we simply do the math.
Right.
And we know the tools that are out there to use, and we do the math with those tools and say, can we generate something that's close or better to the lifetime pension? If we can't, then we say, take that pension. If we can, then that does give the family control of the money, because I laughingly say sometimes if you both get hit by the runaway garbage truck, then at least the kids would have something as an inheritance if you take the lump sum and you plan well. With just a traditional pension, if both spouses are gone, then the pension is gone and there's nothing to the children or grandchildren. Right. So that's the reason a lot of people like to take the lump sum, because they control the dollars, but you have to be careful. And this is huge. Don't take the lump sum and go pay off your house.
It's gone.
No.
Yeah.
Because you're going to send Uncle Sam about 30 to 40%.
Right. People forget about the taxes.
In addition to that, we just had a family that did that. They paid off the house. Then, when they got the tax bill, because they took it out of the 401k, then they had to go take a loan on the house to pay the taxes. So
you really have to look at
you've got to weigh out
everything.
Every possibility,
exactly.
too. Not just your situation right now, but what can happen.
We like to tell people, even if you just come in and use this as a sounding board of what you're thinking of doing, because sometimes that will uncover so many things that you just hadn't thought of, because we see it day in and day out, and we see the repercussions of a bad decision. We know to watch for those things now.
And I know there is something that you guys can do to help, this free report, which is the 7 most common pension and 401k mistakes.
Yes, because there's a lot of companies, Alcatel, Lucent, Honda employees right now, there's a lot of them making these choices, and there's 7 common mistakes that people are making in those 401ks and in their pension options. They'll call Next 15 minutes, we'll send that out, and I hope it'll be a help.
I am sure it will. As always, thank you guys for being with me.
You're welcome.